Good morning, y'all. We just had a really nice walk, making our way back to the house. We were on a roll too. I was trying to show y'all his little bouncy walk. I'll show you at another time.
My cousin Lori is in town, and we're going on an African American heritage tour of Amelia Island. Amelia Island is located at the northeasternmost tip of Florida. It was originally inhabited by Native Americans associated with the Timucuan. They called the island Napoica. In 1562, the French arrived, changed the name to Isle de Mai, planted their flag, and so began this wild history with one nation conquering another, which eventually gave this area its nickname, the Isle of Eight Flags. Okay, so we started with the French. In 1565, the Spanish arrived and drove them out. Then came Great Britain. Then the Spanish came back. A group of American settlers known as the Patriots of Amelia Island seized control. Later, some adventurers led by a Scotsman established the Republic of the Floridas for a few months, then Mexico, then the Confederacy during the Civil War, and finally the United States. This makes Amelia Island the only U.S. location to have flown so many flags. Today's event is with Coast One Tours, and we're taking the island-wide heritage tour. This is our tour guide, Mr. Ron Miller. He and his wife Avis manage Coast One Tours, and they are amazing. And that's my cousin in the back. Hey, cousin. The area we're in is called American Beach, and it was founded by Abraham Lincoln Lewis and other Black leaders in the area.
This place here, this was a bed and breakfast before those words were even popular. Because what happened was, people came from hundreds of miles away to get here, and they wanted to stay more than one night. They didn't want to go into the city of Fernandina. From 1901 till they finally sold in the mid-70s, they had 9 different presidents. And some of these streets are named after some of these presidents. This right here, this was called the Bay Holly Oaks. This was 12 rooms.
Y'all, I really don't want to give away this tour. I want you to come to Amelia Island and take the tour yourself. But along the way, we were learning about some of the first homes that were built, and all of this was Black owned. And a lot of it was to provide housing for Black people when they traveled to American Beach, which was, and you'll hear about this a little bit later in the tour, but this was the location that was a public beach for Black people since they weren't allowed to go to other beaches due to segregation. Unfortunately, a lot of the properties have been sold to non-Black owners, and so Mr. Miller and a committee are working really hard with the county to try to reclaim the ownership.
What was 216 contiguous acres now is just barely 100 acres. Wow. That's all that's left. But we have free jazz here. We had up until about 2 years ago, we used to have free jazz here, and they're getting ready to start it back in February.
This was one of the highlights of the tour, and I can't do it justice, so I'm going to let the beach lady give you some more information.
Baby, welcome to American Beach. My name is Marvine, but most people know me as the beach lady. Today, I'm gonna give you a little history. My great-grandfather, Abraham Lincoln Lewis, was Florida's first African-American millionaire and one of the founders of the Afro-American Life Insurance Company, the first insurance company in all of Florida. In 1935, he purchased this land and started the American Beach, so people of color could enjoy the ocean and have recreation and relaxation without humiliation during the Jim Crow era. Pretty soon, homes, businesses, and the Rendezvous nightclub came alive, serving as a beacon of hope that drew celebrities to these shores. Stop by the American Beach Museum to learn a little more about that time. When I was young, I traveled to Europe where I worked as an opera singer, but something was calling me home. It was a need to preserve this beach, its history, and the culture that was here during that time. With a lot of hard work, we preserved American Beach. We even got this dune that I named Nana, the tallest dune in Florida, into the hands of the National Park Service. Oh, baby, while visiting here, you might see me, because I've turned into a butterfly, floating around the beach and Nana. Thanks for stopping by.
The dunes are pristine, so you can see there are turtle tracks because no one else is allowed over here. It's just turtles in nature.
When I visited some
These
of the
are
keys
turtle
and stuff,
holes.
they were more active at night. They would come and lay their eggs at night.
After looking at the turtle holes, I noticed I had something stuck to my shoe. Look at that. It's cactus, and there were a bunch of them. I am so grateful I wore sneakers and not sandals. Our next stop was to visit the beach because you can't come to American Beach without visiting the beach. Now, if you are a Nassau County resident, you have the ability to drive on the beach. So Mr. Miller took us for a ride.
It's Kiana. See these dunes, guys? These dunes on both sides? These were mansions. These were black-owned mansions.
They were this close
to the beach.
Wow.
They were on the beach, yeah. And what happened, weather and so many things made them terrible. You're not gonna see many black people now. They'll put lights on the back porches, but those lights have to be turned down. You can't have lights pointed toward the ocean because when the turtles hatch, they don't let us drive, through the Omni.
Right.
You can't drive through that anymore. But we used to drive. We used to have car races here. The cars would race. The general public would be here, so the cars would race that way to make sure you don't hit nobody. You guys want to get out or anything? Are you okay?
Yes.
Oh God, I'm yours, guys.
Stepping out on the beach. Yes. My mama loves shells.
It's a good day to honor her.
Yes, it
Good
is.
event, Tim. She would have loved it.
Especially this, like a beach like this where you can walk out really far. This was her favorite. And she would get her one of those, the little short chairs that's like close
Like
to
they
the
have
ground.
Lanai.
She would get her one of those and just kind of sink down and let the waves wash up on her. This is for you, Mama. Wow.
Mr. Miller told us about one of his good friends who is a published author, so we made an unofficial stop over to her home in order to see her and purchase her books.
Taking off. Okay.
Yeah, that's the beach lady. She wrapped that thing around her head about 5 times. Then she wrapped it around her arm all the way down to her wrist.
Yes.
And she had this little butterfly.
It was a pleasure meeting Miss Marcia Dean Feltz. She is truly a character, and we were so excited to be able to purchase her books. She also gifted us with some cranberry jelly, which I cannot wait to get back home and try. This was our last stop of the tour. Directly across the water from us is the state of Georgia. But this spot has a very sobering history. Slaves were forcibly brought to Amelia Island through its ports here in Fernandina, especially after the U.S. had banned slave imports in 1808. So this was a key site for illegal slave smuggling into the U.S., with estimates suggesting around 60,000 enslaved people passed through. There was so much more that we learned on this trip. I highly recommend that you make your way to Amelia Island, Florida, and then reach out to Coast One Tours so that you can see it all for yourself.